Good afternoon. Good afternoon, families, and a special thank you to our veterans who are here today. I had a bit of a longer speech, but I see that that is all going to be taken care of by our color guard. So I would like to thank you. Boys and girls, what a great experience this is for you. We ask that you show our military, our veterans that are here today, respect and really pay attention to this phenomenal program we put together. At this time, I'm going to pass the mic to the Lorain High School Color Guard.
Right, face, forward, heart. Heart sign, heart. Left turn, heart. Pulse. Reset, heart.
At this time, we ask that everyone please stand for the national anthem. Forward, heart. Pulse. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right face. Forward, heart.
This Sunday, November 11th, is Veterans Day. It is a day set aside to honor the sacrifices that our veterans and their families have made. This assembly is in honor of our veterans, but also a reminder for all of us that we are all to remember and never forget the sacrifices of our veterans and their families. Now please stand to your feet as we honor the American flag. The color guard is commanded by Cadet Corporal Corrales Angulo. The JROTC Honor Guard, commanded by Cadet Major Sam Danger, will now present the Prisoner of War Missing in Action ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, the Lorain High School Army Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps Honor Guard, under the command of Cadet Major Sam Danger, will now present the Prisoner of War Missing in Action ceremony. The other members of the Honor Guard are Cadet Private Morales Cotegado, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Matthew Gannon, Cadet Private Xavier Santiago, Cadet Corporal David LeBoy, and I am Cadet Master Sergeant Alexa Colon. It is an honor and privilege to introduce and acknowledge this table. This table represents and pays tribute to all of the prisoners of war, missing in action and killed in action, from American involvement in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf Desert Storm, Operation Iraq Freedom, Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and more. Many of you looked at this table and wondered. Let me explain. This table, set for 5, symbolizes the frailty of the prisoners against the oppressors. Remember, the tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their country's call to arms. Remember, the single candle displayed in the center of the table is symbolic of the families and the loved ones who kept the faith, waiting for the return of those so dear to them. Remember, the yellow ribbon tied on the candle symbolizes our continued uncertainty and hope for their return and determination to account for them. Countless bear witness and demand for a proper accounting of our missing. Remember, the lemon on the bread plate reminds us for their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt on the bread table, symbolic of the tears of the families as they still wait for their loved ones to return. Remember, the glasses are inverted. They cannot toast with us tonight. Remember, the chairs are empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you have served with them and called them brothers and sisters who depended upon their might and aid and relied on them. Remember, for surely they have not forgotten you.
Story must be told about Lorain, so let them write it down in history. A young soldier cries for his comrades who died, fighting for a cause that they believe. Nobody's seen or heard a sound. There was no parade for them downtown. We found lost patrol, standing by the wall of fallen heroes. We tell their mothers that their sons are marching in the sky. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. Please tell them so they know. Tell them that they're soldiers of the cloud. The wounds will never heal, and the feelings that they feel, let the scar for all the world
Good morning, veterans, families, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet Master Sergeant Alexa Colon. On behalf of our Chief Executive Officer, David Harvey Jr., our Executive Director, Mr. Daniel Garvey, and the Lorain High School Army Junior ROTC Honor Guard, under the direction of Sergeant First Class Chris Simon, we are honored to be here at this special event. To honor our veterans in attendance, thank you for your service and sacrifice to our nation's defense and freedom. This Sunday, November 11th, is Veterans Day, a day and time for us to pause and reflect on the contributions our veterans have made in honor of our fallen comrades and all of those who have gave the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our country and freedom. American revolutionary Thomas Paine wrote his pamphlet, Common Sense. It is not in numbers, but in the unity that our great strength lies. Those words are as true today as they were in 1776. The unity that is America springs from one cause, freedom. Generation after generation of Americans have stepped forward to defend our freedom and to preserve the founding principles of this great generation. From Valley Forge to Vietnam, from Kewat to Kandahar, from Berlin to Baghdad, these patriots have stood watch over America's peace, and when necessary, they have borne the cost of our nation's war. There are more than 24 million living veterans that are among our nation's finest citizens. They served our country and continue to serve our communities. Through our presentation, we honor all the veterans for the silent pledge to defend our freedom. We pledge to uphold the legacy by teaching younger generations about their role in securing the blessings of liberty and about how the veterans' courage and sacrifice has shaped our nation's history. In addition, we would like to thank the United States Armed Forces and their families for their dedication, sacrifice, and service to our country. Let us remember those deployed in foreign soil, in harm's way, standing watch on point for our nation around the world. Please pray for our servicemen and women for a safe return home and continued support them in their mission in the global war of terrorism and protecting our nation's freedom. God bless America, and let us never forget.
Hey! Forward, march!
Still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to Berlin. That's why every American heart takes time to stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died.
We live in freedom,
We for freedom,
and our memory must not fade.
and our memory not fade.
The reason for this freedom
The reason for this freedom
comes from sacrifices made.
comes from sacrifices made.
Thank you, bow. Make a bow. Thank you.
Veterans Day is celebrated on November 11 each year. On this day, we honor those who served our country in both times of war and peace. A veteran is any man or woman who has served in the military. There are 5 branches of the United States military. The branches are the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Forces, and Coast Guard. Veterans are brave. Veterans are our nation hero. Veterans Day was originally called Armistice Day. It marked the day of World War I. Veterans Day became a national holiday in 1938. In 1954, Armistice Day was renamed Veterans Day by President Eisenhower. The fighting in World War I was over on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Renaming Veterans Day allows us to honor all those who have served. Today, Americans watch parades and place flags on veterans' graves.
Veterans are our mothers and fathers.
They are over aunts and uncles. They are our grandparents and extended family. They are our friends and neighbors. Veterans think of others.
Veteran Days are a part of our school community. Today and every day, our class appreciate those who made sacrifice for the United States.
Thank you for all to serve in the past. Thank you to all who are serving now and in the future.
Thank you.
To accomplish this mission, the Air Force operates fighter aircraft, tanker aircraft, light and heavy bomber aircraft, transport aircraft, and helicopters, which are used mainly for rescue of downed aircrew and special operation missions. The Air Force is also responsible for all military satellites and controls all of our nation's strategic nuclear ballistic missiles. Like the Army, the active duty Air Force is supplemented by the Air Force Reserves and the Air National Guard. Army. The United States Army is the main ground force of the United States. The Army's main function is to protect and defend the United States and its interests by way of ground troops, armor, tanks, artillery, attack helicopters, tactical nuclear weapons. The Army is the oldest U.S. military service, officially established by the Continental Congress in June 14, 1775. The Army is supported by 2 reserve forces which can be called upon during times of need: the Army Reserves and the Army National Guard. Coast Guard. The United States Coast Guard was originally established as the Revenue Cutter Service in 1790. In 1950, it was reformed as the United States Coast Guard. In peacetime, the Coast Guard is primarily concerned with law enforcement, boating safety, sea rescue, and illegal immigration control. However, the President of the United States can transfer part or all of the Coast Guard to the Department of the Navy in times of conflict. The Coast Guard consists of ships, boats, aircraft, and shore stations that conduct a variety of missions. The Coast Guard is the smallest military service. The Coast Guard is also supported by the Coast Guard Reserves and Volunteer Coast Guard Auxiliary in times of need. Marine Corps. The Marines are often referred to as the infantry of the Navy. Marines specialize in amphibious operation. In other words, their primary specialty is to assault, capture, and control beaches. In 1798, Congress established the Marine Corps as a separate service. For combat operation, the Marines like to be self-sufficient as much as possible. So they also have their own air power, consisting primarily of fighter and fighter bomber, aircraft, and attack helicopters. The Marines work together with the Navy for much as their support. With the exception of the Coast Guard, the Marines are also the smallest service. The Marines are supported in time of need by the Marine Corps Reserves. Navy. Like the Army, the Navy was officially established by the Continental Congress in 1775. The Navy primary mission is to maintain the freedom of the seas. The Navy makes it possible for the United States to use the seas where and when our national interests require it. In addition, in times of conflict, the Navy helps to supplement Air Force air power. Navy aircraft carriers can often deploy the areas where fixed runways are impossible. An aircraft carrier usually carries about 80 aircraft. Additionally, Navy ships can attack land targets from miles away and cruise missiles. Navy submarines allow attacks on armed enemies. from right of their shores. The Navy is also primarily responsible for transporting Marines to areas of conflict. The Navy is supported in times of need by the Naval Reserves.
Thank you, veterans, for serving our country and taking away your time and maybe even your life. Thank you for risking your life in the war and in the Army.
Thank you for saving people's life and for taking care of poor kids and people. Thank you for giving your life for our country.
Thank you, veterans, for fighting for our countries. You left your family to fight for our countries, right? You are putting your life up for your country. You can't get thanked enough. Thank you, veterans.
Veterans, thank you for fighting for us and sacrificing your life for us.
I just want to say thank you to the veterans for fighting for our lives.
Thank you, veterans, for almost risking your life. You're the reason why we have food that grows and have freedom. You save our country and leave your family to fight for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for serving. You have tried to risk your life, so I should give something back. Thank you for all you did.
Beautiful for space.
that so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We're going to keep moving. I'm watching the clock and we're trying to stay on time. We're very excited about this program. It was almost like a three-part. We had everything from poster contests that you see here on the wall, which we're going to find out who the winners are. And we also had an essay contest, which is one of our goals here at Stevan Dohanos. We're trying to make sure that students are clear on the writing process, writing complete sentences and paragraphs. So we had two essay writers who are going to now read. We have Yarmalise, we have Yarmalise, and we have Amari Griffin. Amari Griffin is going to read first.
What would you call a person who offers safekeeping, support, and unconditional love? You might call that person a parent or a veteran. We need to honor and support our veterans now because, like parents, they have supported us in every time of need. On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to a service call, soldier young, soldier old, fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all of our rights. They fought through many days and nights, and though we may not know each name, we thank veterans just the same. Veterans Day is a holiday we celebrate to show happiness for our veterans. Veterans are men and women who served in the Army force in our country. This means that they are a part of the U.S. military. Veterans include these who are in the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Army Ranger. Veterans Day is celebrated on the 11th because the fighting of the Civil War was over. What can you do to thank a veteran?
Please give her a hand. She worked hard on that. Stay right there. And now we have Yarmalise Hernandez.
America's gift to my generation. What makes the United States of America a beautiful place to live is that this country is filled with varied landscapes, eye-popping attractions, and friendly people everywhere you go. Known as the land of opportunity, where one could achieve anything they put their mind to, no matter who they are. People immigrate to the United States every year from different parts of the world to have access to what America is also known for, the forefront of freedom and equality. History may be contradictory contradictory to these ideals, but we have progressed. One reason is the diversity you see all around. We have many citizens from different backgrounds, whether you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, or a librarian. America is the best place to achieve these dreams from sea to shining sea.
Give her a hand. Beautiful. Now we will have our speaker, who was so kind to agree to speak at our Veterans Day program today. His name is Juan J. Delgado. He is a staff sergeant, yes, in the United States Army.
I hate to do this to you, like 6 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I am a soldier. I am a real soldier. I'm going to start off by telling y'all a little story about a small little boy. So once upon a time, there was this little boy. Grew up to a poor family, was actually born in Mexico. About the age of 5, his parents decided they were moving to the U.S., brought him along. Came to the U.S., ended up moving to the state of Georgia, where he grew up poor, struggling. Ended up going to elementary school, middle school, high school, ended up graduating. After graduation, he knew he wanted to do something more than just something for himself. He wanted to do something better to help other people and do something more. So he decided to join the United States Army. After he joined the United States Army, got married, had 5 kids, went to Afghanistan, Iraq, and is now currently serving still in the United States Army. That little boy was me. From that little story, what I want to get to is, it doesn't matter what background you have or where you come from. You can always make a difference. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. No matter what background, where you come from, you are always good enough. You can make a difference. With that being said, also though, I want to talk to y'all about 3 values that are pretty important to have and to live by. One of them is respect. Respect goes a long way. Pretty much means treat others as you want to be treated. You wouldn't want people disrespecting you, don't disrespect others, to include teachers, parents, anyone, your peers. The next one, personal courage. You must always have personal courage to do what's right. It's okay to have fear. Everyone is scared at times, but you must always do what's right. Don't be scared to do what's right. Another one that I want to talk about is integrity. Integrity is a big one. It's pretty much doing what's right without being told to do so or while others are not watching. So just because someone is turned around and not looking at you, it doesn't mean to do something that you're not supposed to. You're supposed to do what's right even when others are not watching you. So with that being said, thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's a great privilege. Thank you.
So now it is that time when we recognize our veterans. We have a certificate for them, and we're going to just ask when we call your name if you can come up so that we can present you with your certificate, and there's a flower that we would also like to present you with. So I'm going to ask that our principal, Mrs. Desha, presents the flowers to you while I present the certificates. Our first veteran is Joshua Bogus. He is the great uncle of Michaela Adams. Okay. Okay, we will save that. Any of the veterans that are not here, we're going to save that and make sure it gets home. Forrest Bullocks, grandfather of Alexander Bullocks. Yeah. John Corey Jr., father of Adrian and Jacob Corey. And actually, we're going to ask that if we do call your family member's name, if you're a grandchild or a son, please come up. So please come up with your granddad. Graciano Diaz, father of Kilianice Diaz. We only had about 7 that were going to come, and then the rest are either deceased or they were not able to make it. Narravin Lee Sr., great-grandfather of Brilliance Atwood. Wilson Maldonado, grandfather of Ariana Maldonado. Melvin Navarro, father of Lucas Navarro. Lucila Hernandez Perez, mother of Yana Release Hernandez. She's going to share with us who she is, please. She came up today.
My husband is Melvin Navarro. He was not able to make it here, but I'm also a veteran, and I'm the mother of Lucas Navarro. My name is Angelina.
Jimmy Santiago, great uncle of Nevaeh Villafane. Juan Alvarez Segarra, uncle of Giscalia Montero. We definitely got to get some pictures of this. Raymond Shepard, uncle of Paris and Clayton Fleming. Edward C. Turner, grandfather of Sierra Casey. Francisco Vasquez, grandfather of Hannah Condi. Ruben Zamora, great uncle of Nevaeh Villafane. So I just want to explain how we got here very, very quickly. There was a mass sheet sent to every student in the building, and if they had a family member that they wanted to be represented here today. They filled that out and sent it back to me. And these are the ones that we received. Please give them a hand again for them serving in our country. All right. Give them another hand as they take their seats. Finally, we want to present our winners for the contest that we had for both our posters and our essays. And those students can come up quickly so that we can present you with your certificate. I need you guys respectful still. For our posters, and first place was Yorcelis Lanes. If you please come up and stand in front of your poster. If you can point to that poster up there, show them which one is yours. You'd be proud. Second place for our Second place for our poster, Malaya Marshall. Malaya, please come stand next to your poster over there. In third place was Junior Rivera. Junior, come on up. For our essays, in first place was Yamalis Hernandez. One of our readers, please come up to receive your certificate. And Amari Griffin was our second place. Everyone, please give them a very big hand. Yeah. We have gift cards that they will be presented later. And the first place winners also won the giant candy cane, just so you know. We are so proud of them, and now I'm going to ask Mr. Shuck to close us out.
Just one large thank you for everyone. Veterans, thank you, thank you. We can never thank you enough for all that you have done to serve our country. And thank you for all of those who attended. Thank you.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
The Warriors to Work program makes it possible for wounded warriors and their families to build new lives together.
When my dad left, I was like this big, but now I'm like this big. My dad got a master's degree in human resources.
Thanks to Warriors to Work that my dad has a terrific job.
The Wounded Warrior Project helps him by, giving him another start.
Now that my dad's home, I get a lot more hugs.
I'm really proud of him.
Find out more about Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home, the brave.
Sergeant Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and has the medals to prove it. Soon after leaving the Navy, Lieutenant Chris Scott found a job, a home, and started a family of his own. Corpsman Richard Stokely took the skills he learned in Vietnam and put them to good use as a paramedic. But soon after leaving the military, each of these veterans fell on hard times and faced homelessness. Even after Michelle lost all her savings, even after Chris wasn't able to pay his mortgage, and even after Richard battled alcoholism for years, they each reached out for help when they needed it most. A simple phone call put them in touch with a trained professional from the Department of Veterans Affairs. That call got Michelle a place to stay until she could afford one of her own, put Chris in touch with employment assistance, and found Richard a substance abuse program. These veterans are success stories not only for how they were able to help others while serving their country, but for how they were able to let others help them. If you know of or are a veteran in need, make the call.
In an instant, life can change. Hi, I'm veteran J.R. Martinez. If you've been hurt or disabled due to your service, the last thing you need to do is hurry up and wait for a VA claims decision. Make sure you file an electronic, fully developed claim or e-claim for disability compensation on e-benefits. It's the fastest and easiest way to get a claims decision. Learn more at ebenefits.va.gov. E-claims and e-benefits Online VA claims made simple.